One of the biggest blocks to happiness is self-abandonment. We tend to self-abandon in order to stay in an abusive relationship or stay at a job that we don't like, or anytime we tell ourselves that anytime there's force involved, where it's you have to be like this, you have to do that, or you have to have something, and it's just not part of your authentic soul blueprint. So then we tell ourselves, well, it's not that bad. This is just how it is. We kind of gaslight ourselves. And yet it becomes so painful that we have to start disassociating or closing down our heart to be able to bear the situation that we're in. Anytime we self-betray or self-abandon, we start to make excuses to stay in that situation because we're afraid of change. We're afraid to leave. So that's the problem, but you may have noticed that I like to focus more on solutions than the problem. So let's talk about that. I'm going to be really honest with you. There is not always an easy solution. Sometimes there is. Sometimes it's as easy as saying, you know what? I don't feel emotionally safe in this relationship because of X, Y, and Z. Goodbye. Sometimes it can be that simple if we just make a choice. And please note that you don't even have to give an explanation to anyone ever, especially if you think the other party might get verbally or physically abusive with you. I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you permission. It's absolutely okay to ghost someone, ghost, or cut off contact with little to no explanation if you feel like your safety is on the line, emotional or physical. Choose safety. But sometimes it can feel a lot more tricky to choose our own safety and wellness over the status quo for a lot of different reasons. Maybe we don't feel safe enough to deal with emotionally upsetting someone. We may not be having much luck finding a better job situation, or we can't afford to take any kind of work break. We're nervous about making that transition. Maybe we have kids with a partner who doesn't treat us well, and we're scared of what co-parenting will look like. So we're just going to tough it out. Life isn't black or white. It's the full color spectrum. It's the entire rainbow of possibilities, and it can get really difficult to know which path of all of our many options that we should take, or if we need to just wait it out and see. And sometimes that is the right decision. But even though it's difficult to know, that doesn't mean that we should stay in agony and not do anything. There are always tools and allies, friends, advocates, therapists, etc., that we can reach out to for support. Even watching this YouTube video right now is a form of self-care. So good for you. Good job. You're doing something at least. You're not giving up on your own happiness, because that's a priority. Any time in life where you feel like you're in this in-between space, where you aren't sure if you should leave a person or a situation, or where you would go from here if you did. And even if you're not in any kind of immediate danger, you're just kind of generally unhappy or in limbo. What's worked for me when I felt like, I don't know what I want, but I don't want this. The next step for me has always been creating safety from the inside out until the path becomes more clear, or until I feel brave enough to make a decision. Here's what that can look like, creating that inner safety. It's reaching out to close friends and family who you trust, who you know have your back, and tell them you're struggling. And they may not know what to do either, but at least you won't be suffering alone. At least you won't be suffering in silence. They may have ideas or know of resources to support you. Sometimes we're too close to it to look objectively, and getting someone else's perspective can be helpful. Choosing safety can look like prioritizing the things that do make you happy and do support your well-being. Let's say, for example, that you're dealing with a toxic work environment, but you aren't ready to leave yet. Well, then at least make sure that you're getting that joy from some other aspect of your life. Maybe your social life is giving you some relief. Start regularly planning a fun adventure activity, a weekly activity with a good friend that gives you something to look forward to, that gives you a little joy and a little hope. Maybe pick up a new hobby. When I was going through a rough patch, I found a community center that offered yoga classes that was really affordable, and it was close to my home. And every week it was me and 4 senior citizens, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Every week when I walked out of that class, I felt totally recharged and ready to face the week, and was able to get through until the next class. And your stress relief might look totally different from mine, but the point is to find something that lifts you up. Find something that helps you keep your head above water. A book club or some other kind of social club until you're ready and able to take action. But don't self-isolate. Don't, hide in the corner and just hope for things to get better. You deserve support. Last but not least, in terms of embodying safety, I can't think of anything that has helped me more than having a daily meditation practice. Meditation over time can help us become more centered and embodied. It can help us develop a level of consciousness and self-awareness that allows us to see things more clearly and to be able to see what's ours to own and work on and what belongs to someone else that we don't need to take responsibility for or carry that burden for them. And this isn't so that we can bear staying in a bad situation. We don't want to look for mood stabilizers so we can just deal with something that really needs to end. Although it will help with that if you're not quite ready to make your move. But ideally, we're doing these things so that we have the inner strength and clarity to either transform the situation or separate from it. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Beck Sato. I'll see you soon. Love you.